Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of this vintage lace edging. In part 1 we worked rows 1, 2, 3, and here they are. And today we're going to be looking at, well, rounds 4 through to 6. The first part of the project, I'll pop the link in the description box below for you. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so to begin, pop a single crochet in the next single crochet along. Turn your work, and then over this 10 chains, work a total of 7 single crochets. Six and 7. There we go. Now once more, we're actually going to chain 10. 1, 2. And then in each of these next 2 spaces, we're going to work 2 clusters separated by 5 chains this time. So you yarn over 3 times for your double treble cluster. Insert your hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and leave 2 loops on your hook, and again yarn over 3 times, just like we did in the previous part. And again, yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, pull through 2, pull through 2. Of course, yarning over first, and then you have 4 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 4. Just nudge those or the little cluster across, and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again another cluster in the same place. Yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, a total of 3 times. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, and again chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's how it's looking now. Okay, so we need to make another 2 clusters separated by 5 chains in the next space, just as we did here. So when you've completed that, I'll meet you just after you've done that. So once you've done your 2 sets of clusters separated by 5 chains, we're ready to work down this side now. So first of all, chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then over the base of this chain loop here, do a total of 3 single crochets. 1, 2, just take that out of the way. 2 and 3. Now we need to skip across here to this next chain space and over this set of chains work another 3 single crochets. And that's how it's looking. And next chain 10 again. And again into the top of here, into these next 2 chain spaces, do exactly as you've done here. Work 2 more clusters separated by 5 chains. 5 chains again, jumping over to the next space, do another 2 sets of clusters separated by 5 again, and I'll meet you when you've done that. I thought I'd just show you one more time. So you've done your 10 chains here and you're starting your next set of clusters. So you've done your 3 clusters here, sorry, the cluster with the 3 double trebles here, 5 chains, and then you need to do again in the same space another cluster made up of 3 double treble crochets. There we go, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, and then chain 5. And another set of double treble clusters in this next space. Again, chain 5. Four loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Now you can see you've got your clusters again. And next we need to chain 10 again and repeat what we did before. I just got a little knot in my cotton thread, so now again we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then you can see here we're going to work 3 single crochets over the next 10 chains, just at the bottom here. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to jump across here to the other 10 chains and do another 3 single crochets. course in the UK it's double crochets. Next, chain 10, and then once more we need to pop 2 double treble clusters in each space, separated again by 5 chains, just as we've done here. And also here. So we'll have a little look at the pattern in case you do decide to download it. So as you can see, we turned and then started off with 7, and we did 7 double crochets, single in the US, over the 10 chains. Then we made an extra 10 chains. So if we have a look at our little piece of work here, we started here, did our 7 double crochets, single crochets in the US here. Then we did 10 chains, and then the pattern suggests 2 groups of trebles, which means the clusters, the double treble clusters. So you needed 2 groups, so we have our 2 groups, 1 and 2, and then we needed 5 chains between, and then into each of the next 3 chain spaces we need to put 10 chains. So when I say 2 groups, that's a bit misleading. This is 1 group of double treble clusters. We've got 1, 2 here, and there we have the 5 chains. Then we separate them with 5 chains, and then we have our next group of double treble clusters. 1, 2. I was looking at the group as being just the 3 double treble here, but no, they mean the group as in 2. So let's just have one more peep at that. 2 groups of trebles. This is the thing with old patterns. Thank goodness they have the diagram or the illustration photograph below, so you can work it out from that, which isn't such a bad thing. So that's where we are. We've just done 2, so that's a group, and we did 5 chains, and then 5 chains between the groups and that separate the groups, and another 5 chains there, and then we did 10 chains. That's in the next round, and then we came down here. That's slightly different as well, so perhaps I'm better showing you the work. Okay, so here we go again. Ten chains, and this is when you've finished all the clusters. 3 double crochets over the next chains, cross over to the next chains and put 3 double crochets over them. So we did 3 single crochets over the next 10 chains, crossed over to the next 10 chains and put 3 single crochets over those, and then we did 10 chains, and we needed to repeat this twice, and we have to end with 7 single crochets over the last set of chains. Right, I've probably made that more confusing than it needed to be, but here we go. At least I'm showing you on the video. So we're now at the stage where we need to do our clusters here. So I shall just complete these clusters just as we did in the previous chains, just here. So once you've finished your final groups of clusters, just chain 10. There we go. And here we need to now, instead of doing 3 single crochets, we do as we did at the beginning and do 7 single crochets over the chain. 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And this time just tease your work apart and pop a single crochet in the next single crochet along in the ring. Okay, so we'll have a look at this completed round now, and it's really beginning to take effect, as you can see. There we are. So that is the correct way that the lace will go. Okay. Right, so we're now ready for round 5. So interestingly, they say round 5, we need to chain 7 and do a group of trebles in the centre of the space left on the centre ring, and then chain 7 and continue working round, and that's where we'll start round 6. Okay, so we'll start round 5. You can see here that we have got 3 stitches remaining, so pop a single crochet in that next one here and then chain 7. And then do 1 double treble cluster in the next stitch in the ring. I should say on the ring basically. So there we go with our first double treble. Second, and then the third. And next chain 7 again. Six and 7, and then find the next stitch along. There it is, and pop a single crochet in there. Okay, so now we'll start round 6. So for round 6, we start off by doing 10 chains, 12 double crochets or singles over the next chains, and into each 5 chain space we need to put 4 single crochets or doubles, 5 chains and 4 double crochets come single crochets. That 5 chains will form a little picot, and then we're going to do 12 single crochets over each of the 10 chains, and we need to end with 10 chains fastened to the center ring. Okay, so it's a good idea with these patterns to read them through before you even start the round. The motifs are joined in the center of the 3 picots at each side. So if I show you one I've already done, that'll make a little bit more sense. This is just one of the motifs. We've almost completed this, and here are the spaces, and here's the 4 single crochets in each space and the 5 chains. Now those picots are where we join, so when we're going to do our next motif, all we do is pop our hook through here and pull the thread through, which I will show you in a few seconds. So basically it's up to yourselves where you decide to join. I think we may as well join it when we get to here. Right, so I think it's okay to get started. I just had a little rethink and I thought, as we're working around this way, if we popped it on there, we've got more work in our hands. So if we do it on this side, when we make the picots here, that makes a little bit more sense. Right, off we go. So for round 6, we start off with 10 chains. And then jumping over here into the next space, we're going to work a total of 12 single crochets. In fact, I will meet you when we've done the 12. So 12 single crochets completed over those 10 chains, and into this space we're going to work 4 single crochets, 5 chains and 4 single crochets. As we said before when we were looking at the pattern, the 5 chains act like a picot. And again, you might need to just nudge them across and then do another 4 single crochets, all in that same space over that 5 chain loop. And then just jump straight across into the next 5 chain space, 4 single crochets, perhaps just nudge them across again, chain 5, four single crochets, into the next 5 chain space, 4 singles, five chains, and 4 single. Now here we're going to be doing something slightly different. Look at the pattern. So far we've done the 10 chains, the 12 single crochets, and into each 5 chain space we've done this with 5 chains, 4 single crochets, and 12 single crochets over each 10 chains. Okay, so we need to work 12 single crochets over this next 10 chains here. So I'll meet you when you've done your 12 single crochets over this 10 chain. This is how it's looking. There are your 3 picots, and we've done 12 single crochets over the 10 chains. Now we need to jump across here to the next 10 chains and work 12 single crochets over here. Just wait for that to focus. Okay, so over this 10 chains here. So I'll just get started and show you in there and start with your single crochets. So 12 in total. And I'll meet you when you've done those. This is how it's looking. And now we're going to repeat again exactly what we did before and do the the 4 single crochets, 5 chains, 4 single crochets in each of these 5 chain spaces, and again 12 single crochets over the 10 chains, jump across 10 single crochets over the 12 single crochets over the 10 chain. In other words, you're just repeating exactly what you've done here on the next 3. The only difference, it'd be slightly different here. So what I'll do, I'll meet you when you reach here, the final little cluster just here with your 4 single crochets. Right. In fact, I need to meet you here because we're going to join the picots, I've just remembered. So just go ahead, complete this and get yourself up to about here when you've done the next 12 single crochets on this one. So this is what the work looks like now. Here are your little picots, and this is the one that we haven't completed yet. So we need to do our 4 single crochets, 5 chains, 4 single crochets in each of these. And when we do this, what we need to do is join it on to our other motif. If this is the first motif you're making, of course, you'd just go ahead and complete it. But now we're going to do the joining. So skip over, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then chain 2, 1, 2. Just take your hook out, take your work, make sure you've got the right side, and then we're on the bottom picot, so insert your hook into that 5 chain loop, the little picot just there, pop your hook back on, the loop back on your hook, pull the loop through, and then just complete a chain and do 2 more chains, and then into the same space here, complete another 4 single crochets. And we do this exactly the same in the next one. So 4 single crochets, remove your hook from the loop, pop it into the center of those 5 chains, pop your loop back on your hook, pull it through, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then complete your single crochets in this space. So 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and once more 4 single crochets, 2 chains, remove your hook from the loop, find your next picot or your next 5 chain loop here, insert your hook, pop the loop back on your hook, pull it through and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then complete your 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3. I know I need to nudge those over, and 4. And next we complete our 12 single crochets over the next 10 chains, and I'll meet you when we've done that. So there are the 12 single crochets. Now we need to continue with just 10 chains and fasten in the center there. So I'll meet you in a second when you've done 10 chains. So we've done 10 chains, just pop a slip stitch in there. Chain 1, snip your yarn, pull it through, and there you've made the start of your lace. And all that's needed now is the heading. So we'll move on to part 3 and I'll show you how to do the heading. So it's quite a pretty little piece of lace, and although it might seem a little complicated, it's well worth the effort. Okay, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you for part 3 soon. Take care. Bye for now.